Hi, good morning and welcome to Star Media and this week's version of The Conversation. Before we get started, though, I'd like to point out our sponsor of the week is Papik Motors, and now is your chance to score big savings on Chevys you've been waiting for at Papik Motors. You get $3,000 off new Tahoes, Suburbans, and Colorados, $2,000 off new Equinox, $1,000 off new Traverses, Trailblazers, and Trax. Special pricing on Silverado 1500 and heavy-duty pickups as well. Whether you're hauling, commuting, or heading out on an adventure, there's a Chevy for you at Papik Motors. And today's guest is Emily Crabtree, the executive producer, the executive director of Luverne Area Community Foundation, and welcome to today's program.
Thanks, Rick.
You're getting ready to kick off the fall grant season.
Yes.
And so why don't you tell us a little bit about that and how's that get started?
Sure. So we have a competitive grant cycle 2 times a year, the spring and the fall. So the fall grant season opens September 1st and closes September 30th. Nonprofits who are within the boundary of Rock County can apply for a grant-assisted gift that qualifies in 2 areas: in healthcare, which would be anything obviously that deals with mental health, physical health, nutrition, nursing home, ambulance, that kind of thing. And then our community grant fund, which would be anything that's not healthcare.
Okay, so there's 2 actually separate grants that
2
they
buckets,
can apply.
correct.
And so how does someone fill out a grant application and how do they qualify?
Right. So our grant application is all online. That can be found on our website at www.luvacf.org. There's a grants tab across the top. You click that, and then if you're a first-time user, you fill out a profile. If you're a returning user, you put in your credentials and you're in. You need to tell us about what your grant is. Tell us why it's important. Tell us how it impacts and betters the community. And then what do you need? What are you asking for? What's your budget? Who else are you working with? And what kind of an impact will it have once it's in place?
So how many grant applications do you normally receive during a...
Yeah, usually we can have anywhere from 12 to 20.
Okay.
Yep.
So what are some of the grant applications that have been successfully processed and then out into the public?
Yeah, so we had a really fun one that happened last spring. Callie at the library is doing what she called a storybook trail.
Okay.
And so she put in a grant that utilizes the bike path, which again is a great crossover. And there will be kiosks along the bike path within I believe it's in the city park area.
Oh, okay.
And it will feature a storybook. And she will have pages from, and it will be seasonal, so the storybook will change. And it will have the pages in there that you can stop and read the page, bike on to the next one, read the next page.
So these are like real books then at these kiosks?
Correct,
okay.
yep.
Okay.
And they're under glass, so she obviously, one book gets deconstructed to be laid under the glass. And then I believe there's also a QR code that you can scan with your phone and then have that page read to you from a recording of where you're at. So we just thought that was, you've got so many elements there. You've got an educational piece, literacy, you've got recreation, you've got use of another asset in the community. You're touching kids, adults, grandparents, anybody who's going to be out using the bike path and wants to stop and have a story time with it.
So each year you have a spring, and now currently we're under the fall, and then they go through the application process. How are you vetted that out? How does that work?
Right. So when at midnight on the 30th, the grant closes, and then we have a committee of 9 community members from across the county that all go through every single grant. We have a matrix, if you will, that we do side by side. And so we're looking at, okay, what is their budget? Is it reasonable? Is there a need? Does their budget reflect the fact that, they're short on funds and this grant could really be helpful? What's the impact? What is it going to do for the community that it resides? How many other funders are there? So there's all these different things that we're looking for, and then they're scored. They're given a 1 to 10. And then that score from top to bottom then comes to an average, and then across the 9 of us, we average the scores, and then we put them in order by highest score to lowest score. So we're trying our best to continue to revise our process so that it removes the bias as best we can, and then it draws out the portions of the grant that we find are the most important.
And it also assures your donors that you're just not willy-nilly giving away the money away. It's going to a worthy cause and within the county.
I would suggest if you asked any of the committee members, they're probably putting in at least 2 or 3 hours in going through the grants, doing their scores. And then we do come together as a group and we discuss the results, and then we assign the grant awards.
So I remember back in the olden days, there was actually a live face-to-face presentation. Does that still happen?
It does not. If there was something that we felt like we needed to have a face-to-face, we can still call on that. But most grants, when you look across the work that we do, are all paper grants. It's really important that you give us as much detail as possible. You assume that we know absolutely nothing. In fact, if you're not a great grant writer or you wouldn't even know how to start, myself and Molly Carbonell are going to do a grant writing class through community education this fall.
Oh, okay.
So you can look for that in the community ed brochure to come up and learn about how do you write a grant? What are the things that are important? What makes a strong application?
Don't be afraid to do that.
Correct. And if you ever wanted to get your feet wet with a grant, ours is really simple.
Okay.
I have written some grants that are really complicated and they take weeks to complete. Ours is not that.
Yeah, because I'm sure many of these applicants are volunteers themselves.
Exactly.
And doing the right thing for the right reasons.
Correct. Correct.
So, and then you also have, I think, once a year at least, the philanthropy evening where all the grant recipients from the past year come together and you have a thank you or an exposure. Tell us how that works.
So in November, we have the celebration of philanthropy, and we invite, it's part of the grant requirement that you come and you share your grant story and you thank the donors. Without the donations, we don't get to do the grants. So it's a night for friends of the foundation to sit, hear the stories of where their dollars have gone, and hear the gratefulness that comes from the grantees. I mean, that's my favorite part, is you can really tell that when the grantees tell their story, they are truly grateful for the money they got.
It really is.
Yeah.
Can you name some of the other grant recipients and some of the projects that we might see out within the county?
Sure, yeah. So we've helped the pickleball phenomenon. The original court that's up at the tennis courts, we helped get that one going. And then we also helped with some portable nets and equipment at the armory. So that's a recreational grant. We help support the flu shot clinics at the Luverne and the Hills Beaver Creek school districts. That happens in the fall every year, so they come and ask us in the spring. We have also, we try to be as broad as we can. So if you look at, we've done some healthcare, some fine arts. We often get a request from the Palace, or this year we got one from Luverne Street Music. And they needed some equipment upgrades and music stands and things for the kids that come through.
So we just recently had the Rock County Fair.
Yes.
And you had some grant projects over the years. What were some of the things that we might have noticed at the fair that we didn't realize the foundation had a part in?
Right. So any of the handicap accessible features. So if you were in the grandstand, if you were in the show ring, and there's a handicap ramp with handicap seating, we helped them with a grant for accessibility. Accessibility is very important to our community and to the foundation. If you washed your hands in one of those portable hand washing stations, that was one of the first grants we did. And I remember when the Rock County Ag Society came to us with that idea, I said, this is exactly what our foundation is meant to help with. And we put the first 2.
How many? They have quite a few of them
I think
out
they
there.
have 6 now,
Wow.
I think, but we did the first 2 for them. We helped them with the bleacher project. We helped them with the kitchen upgrade in the food stand.
Okay.
So we had that little tag during Fair Week, look for us. We ask our grantees to put a little plaque or a sticker or something that says, this was made possible with the help from the Luverne Area Community Foundation, because we want you as a donor to know we have done right by the donation that you have trusted us with to put where the greatest need is.
And you've done some things at the city park and hills, I believe, over the years?
Yep. Again, we did some handicap accessibility
okay.
there, a sidewalk that could lead to the playground for anyone with a walker or a wheelchair. We've done, if you talk about recreation and beautification things, we have the Veterans Pond Fountain. That was a project that we did.
I didn't realize that.
That helps with the environmental part of aerating, and then 2, a little
Aesthetic.
bit, the aesthetic part of it.
What about the AEDs?
Yes, we have an AED program. So any nonprofit or public entity like the city, the county, churches would qualify. If you need an AED, it's an automated external defibrillator for a person having a heart attack, we have a program where you get $500 from the foundation and $500 from Sanford Luverne, and that covers about half of the cost of an AED with a wall cabinet. So that if someone in your work or your who's in your building has an episode, the difference between an AED within minutes versus waiting for the ambulance.
And we already have stories in the past years of how that has saved lives.
Yep. And then we have a battery and pad replacement program to make sure that those, and Jill Johnson from the Rock County Ambulance Service, she does all of the updating and upkeeping of expirations and training, and so it's a great collaboration.
Good. So tell us a little bit about the foundation itself. You have a board of directors. Where's your office?
Yep.
And who's at the office?
So our office is located on the corner of Freeman and Main Street, right next to the Palace Theater, 102 East Main. I call it the best office window on the block because lots.
Because I walk by it every day.
Of course, and then everything happens on that corner. We're a staff of 2. I'm the executive director, and I recently have a new office manager. Her name is Beth Ahrens Senth.
Okay.
She has been a great addition. Helen Somm was a wonderful gal who recently retired.
Okay.
So I have a new assistant. We have a 12-member board that is made up of the county. We try to have a representation of the entire county because Luverne area is Rock County. It includes all 8 communities in the county that we serve. And our goal is to keep local funds local and to help donors who have either a charitable need, they need a tax vehicle, they want to do something good for their community. We have the tools to assist in whatever it is that they have goals for.
Okay. You mentioned local, and I think early on in one of our conversations, you mentioned that the grant applications have to be from Rock County, otherwise they're not even considered.
Correct. 2 quick eliminators of a grant application are: 1, they're not a qualified charity, and 2, their services are outside of Rock County, because the dollars that are given are meant to stay within the borders of Rock County.
So in order to fund all these wonderful projects, how does one simply or easily give money to the foundation?
Right. So our greatest need generally comes out of the community grant fund. We always have more applicants than we have dollars for. So in the fall, when you see the Give to the Max or the Max Your Community envelope that comes, every dollar that is given through that campaign goes into the community grant fund or the grant fund within the outlying communities.
Okay.
And that is how we are able to fund these projects that come along. We have a formula where it's in the interest only off of these endowments. And the more they grow, the more the amounts are. At some point, our goal as a foundation is to be able to fund everything that comes through the door that is qualified, that is impact bearing, and that will make a difference in the community.
For the Petersons, a very easy way to contribute to the general fund is through our utility bill here in Luverne.
Yep.
And you can round up as much as you want every month, and then the city lets you know when that money's come in and channels that back to the foundation.
Yep.
So it's kind of like a monthly donation. You get to decide what that will be. So for us, that works out really well, and I would encourage you, if you live in Luverne, what's another $10 on your utility bill, really?
Yep.
So Emily, anything else that you'd like to mention before the kickoff of the grant application season?
You know, I'm grateful to be able to share our story about how the dollars go out. It's one of the most fulfilling parts of the work that we do there, and I look forward to the projects that are coming, the ideas that the leadership of our community and those nonprofits are coming up with, so that we can have a better quality of life for whatever it is they're doing.
Well, Emily, thank you very much for you and the work that the foundation does. And that'd be about it on this conversation. So it's time to pull the pin, and thank you for joining us.